We're going back down into the city of Goshen again today, amen. And this word has just been on me, and I know that I've got some thieves in the room that I can't waiting for me to get to the end of this, but I'm just going to kind of take my time and just plow through it because I believe that there's some juicy meat in this teaching, and I don't want to rush it too fast, but I just want to just spend some time talking about how all this was the strategic plan of God to just make some things happen. And I appreciate the fact that while we're scratching our head or while we're trying to figure it out, while we are deliberating and sometimes even complaining about the area or the place that we're in, God is still doing what he does best. Job said, he performeth the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him. Amen. Can you believe that it is the beginning of July already? No, y'all not talking. It's July already, and it seems as if we have been shut down and locked down since February. Yet we're here. And I would be remiss to tell you that somewhere in those months that I was getting a little irritated. I was irritated with the news, irritated with the governor, irritated with our president, irritated with Dr. Fauci, irritated with all of them. All of them. And understanding that to date, we still don't have the whole report. All right? I am concerned as well as you are that we've got people that are traveling from state to state. Some don't recognize that they are carrying. They're stepping into infected air. So numbers are rising again. And they tell us this is only the beginning. But in the midst of all of that, I would be remiss not to tell you that God is still God. And he is still doing what he loves to do. So I invite you back into the word of the Lord. And I want to begin probably in Genesis chapter 46, where we left off, where God tells Jacob as he is preparing to take a journey. Oh, I'm telling you what. I'm telling you. You know, that God says, I'm going down there with you. Now, it's a hard thing to leave family. It's a hard thing to leave a land that you have sojourned in basically all of your life. And you really think that, you know, when you get that close to the promise, Jacob recognized that he's actually dwelling in the land that God said he was going to give him. So why do you want me to move? Huh? If I'm in the place that you promised, why are you asking me to leave it? Right? If I'm in the job where you're going to promote me and make me great, why you send me somewhere else to work? Mm-hmm. That's a good question, isn't it? So why would God do that? Well, the promise actually is to Abraham, and God keeps reiterating this word again to all the descendants. I'm going to make of you a great nation. Trust me that while we're en route to that place, there's still some things that God needs to do on the inside of us to prepare us for the manifestation of what he said. And all of that he wants to prepare and do in you and I maybe cannot take place in the physical land that you're in. So he sends you out to get some outside training. Outside training. And the outside training for this nation was going to be another nation by the name of Egypt. Egypt was a powerful people during this day. They were prestigious people. All roads led to Egypt. All prosperity led to Egypt. But why Egypt? Now you remember that Abraham tried to go down there before. He had to lie about some things. Right. So why is God kind of maneuvering Jacob to go down there and spend this time? And the Bible says, as it's prophesied to Abraham, that there was a great horror of darkness that fell upon Abraham when he was receiving this word. And he said, not only will your people go down there, said they're going to have to serve this nation for a season. Then after that, they're going to come out with substance. Now, you know, when you think of a training module or a training class, couple of weeks, couple of sessions, maybe a year, but not 430. That's a bit long. That's a bit long when you consider that we serve a God that can just do it right now. So what's the delay? What's the process about? So I invite you now to Genesis chapter 46. And it says, Israel, are you reading verse 1 down through 4 for me?
And Israel took his journey
That's
with
right.
all that he had,
That's right.
and came to Beersheba and
That's
offered
right.
sacrifices
That's right.
unto the God of his father Isaac.
That's right.
And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation.
Say with me, for I will there
I will there
make of thee
a
great nation.
a great nation.
So the emphasis is, I'm going to do it there. But I don't want you to do it there. I want you to do it now. I want you to do it right now, right here where I'm at. Don't send me nowhere else to make this thing happen. That's a struggle. It's going to be a struggle for Israel down the road because, like most of us, you really don't want to go. Why not just do it where I'm already at? Don't pull on me anymore. It's been difficult all this time. So why are you asking me to do anymore? Because there is something in Egypt that you cannot get in Canaan. You listening? You can bring it. There's certain things that happen to you there that cannot happen here. I like this COVID congregation we got here right now. Post-COVID, pre-COVID, they just like behind the mask, kind of quiet. Let me say that again. There are certain things you can only get in Egypt that you cannot get here. Right? And only God knows what those are and knows the timing of how to unveil those things. But here's the promise. God said, I'm going to go with you. Now, you think about this. God, if you were with me like you said, does it really take you 430 years to get me out of here? How many of you felt like you've been in one of those seats? I've just been in this one just too long. Huh? Been in this storm too long. Been in this moment just kind of too long. Is it ever going to end? It will when our attitude gets adjusted. Oh. So God, what are you really saying? Now, it is rumored that Goshen, and if you kind of look at how it was strategically set as it related to the other cities where Pharaoh was ruling, it was kind of to the north. It was strategically set in such a way that it made you feel isolated and separated. It made you feel distance, kind of like social distancing. Just automatically made you feel, even though we're in stages of being released, there's something in you to still feel like, don't get too close. Y'all can't identify with that. I was in the grocery store the other day and people see you coming, they automatically just back their cart up. That don't happen to y'all where you all go? You know, so it's something about this distancing that's just kind of normal behavior now. Right? So I wonder how Israel felt going down into this territory, going down to this land, and the land that Joseph had selected from them isolated them from the rest of what was going on down in Egypt. What was that? What if that was strategic? It kind of quarantined them from picking up too much of the culture or the customs of this other nation. Okay. Yet exposed, but distant. COVID all around us, but distant. Disease all around us, but still separated. Right? In the world, but not of it. The church hanging amongst the world, but we're still the church, but we're still called to operate in the world. What could God have been thinking? Theory says that this plain, this area of Goshen was so watered by the Nile that you could just drop a seed out of your pocket and stuff would grow. Pretty rich, pretty fertile. You know, and there is something else behind the scenes. Now, their trade or their culture or their occupation, these 70 souls that ended up down in this area called Goshen. Now, we go from 70 to a multitude that we can't even number in 400 years' time. That's pretty phenomenal, right? We're going to talk about that in Goshen. See, Goshen was just fertile. Fertile enough to grow a nation from 70 people. So even the ground, even the area suggested multiplication. It suggested increase. I like how God does that. You know, Jesus, remember, was about to feed 5,000. The Bible said that they were high up in a mountain where there was no vegetation except where this meal was going to be served. So the territory, the atmosphere, the grounds even suggested that a miracle was already in the works. Goshen suggested that a miracle was already in the works. You just think you're hanging out in Goshen, but God said, I put you someplace fertile to remind you of what I said. There I'm going to make of you a great nation. Right? So I'd remind you, just slide on the chair a little bit. The seat suggests prosperity. The seat suggests that you're moving to another place, that God is even right now concerned about your comfort as you observe the word of the Lord today. You know, we're in an instruction. As instructors, you sit to receive the instructions. God said, I want the instruction to so hit you in such a comfortable place that you can see yourself walking in it. Goshen. Goshen. Now, the setup of God, the territory is already separated. It already provides some level of isolation and distance from the Egyptians, yet it's close enough for them to feel the influence of the land. But this promise that God gives Jacob, it's twofold. I'm going down, and then I'm going to get you up. I like it, but I'm struggling with that in-between time. Right? I like that you're going with me, and I like that you're coming to get me, but I don't like how long this process is going to be. Can I get a witness in the room? Yeah, that's it. So what's really in the mind of God as we consider this? And everything hinges upon there. Do you know that you could be there and still have your same attitude? Y'all not with me. You can be in the right spot, in the fertile land, and the social distancing is all this place, but you still have an attitude about, why am I here in this there? And if you're not careful, I mean, you say, well, I would never do that, but you might have had another protest going on. Giveth us free. I'm going to get out. You know, it wasn't about Black Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. I'm tired of somebody telling me what I can't do. Not that you made a sign, but somewhere in your captivity, how long is this going to last? At the same time, some of us were afforded the opportunity. We didn't have to go to work. And they paid us not to go. And we've got accustomed to not going. And we want to call not going and getting paid the new normal. And just as sure, down the road when they say, we need you to physically come back to the oh, no. So we are enjoying some of the benefits, complaining about it, but enjoying the benefits at the same time. And I can't hear nobody. Huh? They made stuff easy. I remember months before this happened, I was going to one of our banks and I was trying to put everything online, and they were trying to tell me, well, because it's a business account, it's going to cost you this kind of money per month to get access to these accounts and move stuff around. But as soon as COVID hit, they were on the phone calling me, what can we do to make this easier for you? I said, well, I've been trying to get all this stuff set up for a fee. They said, there's no fee involved. Matter of fact, we'll set it up for you. Anything else? I said, look at that here. Look it up in here. Ha! Prior to COVID, they would have charged me all kind of money. Right now, it's all free. And they're so nice on the phone. Now, I'm mad about it, but things are happening at no cost to me right now that would have never happened had it not been for my quarantine in Goshen. That's right. Never thought about shopping for a car online. Never thought about closing a deal online. Never thought about actually negotiating, because I need them to see my face when we're talking about my money. I never thought that I could do that on the phone and they can feel the aftermark. I mean, in the midst of the negotiation, they're calling, how about this? I said, that ain't going to work. I'm just not going to give you my car. Well, sir, we haven't even seen your car. I said, I've seen my car, and this is what I want for my car. I had seen theirs. I had seen theirs and drove theirs, but I was smart enough not to take mine when I drove theirs. So we're negotiating on the phone, and they say blah, 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 blah. I said, well, that's not going to work. They said, well, look, we're trying to make it easy. It's easy for you as possible. We're just not going to go back and forth on the phone, with all these. I said, you don't have to call me again. Thank you. Goodbye. It wasn't 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. I went in, I talked to our manager, and we're willing to give you exactly. Y'all not feeling it. I never done that level of those. I want to go on the phone. I want you to see me when I'm telling you, no deal, no deal, no deal. Yeah. So they made the deal. The only thing that they did not discuss was the rate. But I had already done my homework. So when I went in, car was sitting there ready, just waiting for them to switch the tags, and they went down to the rate, and they said, well, what about this and this and this? I said, no, run your numbers. So they ran my numbers, and they come back and say, Mr. Du Bois, this is the new rate that we're going to give you for this. They're looking for snacks and soda and coffee, all kind of stuff to give me while I'm sitting there waiting for the deal to be done. And when would you like your first payment? I said, I had not thought about when I want the payment. What do you suggest? Well, how about sometime next month sometime? Fine with me. All of this is because of isolation. But if I think about it, I might have spent a few days too long on the other side wondering, don't like it, hate it, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it, don't like the prices when I go to the grocery store, don't like the fewer selection of food, don't like that aisles have been cleaned out before I got there, don't like that. In my mind, in my attitude, that list could become greater in me than the miracles that God is doing. If I wasn't paying attention to God said, I am with you in this crisis, and I'm trying to show you my hand, and I don't want you to leave this lockdown empty, because I'm about to bring you out with great substance. Yes, sir. Woo! Now listen. So God says, I'm going to go down, right? And I'm going to get you out. There are times it's going to feel like he has left you. But he never left. He just was not as active as you and I want him to be. And that's the hardest part. Straddling him getting you down there, him coming back to get me, and in the midst of that 400 years, where did you go? We're going to talk about that. You ready? Y'all kind of quiet on me. I thought y'all would enjoy my story. That was just the car. I could tell you some other stuff he did. All right, you ready? In Genesis chapter 46 and in verse 28, I think I want to stop here for a moment. You there?
Yes.
And he sent who?
And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen, and Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father
That's
to
right.
Goshen, and presented himself unto him.
All right, go back and read, I think it's 28. And he said?
And he sent Judah
Stay with
before
me.
him.
He's going to send Judah ahead of his daddy to Goshen. You like that? So I want you to get this prophetically. There is something about you and I that he says, I'm going to send you ahead of the other people that you might be related to, connected to, so they'll see the blessing and the prosperity of the Lord, so you can be a beacon of encouragement for them when they get stuck. Right? So if you're feeling like I'm stuck and I don't know if my conversation is what it should be, adjust your attitude. Let God work on your attitude, because God said, I'm actually sending you ahead because there's some people that have not experienced what you. So in my mind, I'm going back. So God said, remember all this talk you all were doing about the presence of the Lord and the glory of the Lord and the angels of God and all this stuff? Do you think that he let that experience happen to you for you to get stuck in your little funky attitude? I was preparing you to go ahead of some folks so you could be a source of encouragement to people that have not experienced what you've experienced. Not that God is any different there, but I needed a forerunner to show people how to stay in pocket. So that's Judah. Judah goes ahead to direct them down to Goshen. So God's sending us all these words. Remember, highlight, for those of you that have got a no or a delay, or it ain't going to happen, go back and look again, because it's going to happen. So they told me, you're going to have to pay. I went back again, and now it's free. You say, well, that's a little, it might be little to you. But I believe that what has happened to our country has put things down on a level that all of us get access to it. There are things that we could not attain. I mean, let me throw this out. Let me just say this. Let me say this. So Israel, they just got. If you looked at their resume, there's only one thing that they have had experience in. Well, two: trusting God and keeping sheep, shepherding. Now, to you, it just seemed like, well, we just been doing this all my life, and I don't know why anybody want to pay me for doing this, what I've been doing, right? But things have dropped in such a way, what you don't sweat to do is going to become so marketable. Y'all not feeling it. Huh? You sitting over doodling on a piece of paper, somebody said, oh, that's creative artwork. $300 for that picture. Listen, y'all not hearing me. I'm trying to tell you something. I mean, you just think it's just spare time, off time, goof time, and all of a sudden it has hit the market. They go down as shepherds, and the brother says to them, said, look, I'm going to create an audience in front of you and Pharaoh. Don't be running off a whole bunch of stuff that you can do when you know you can't do it. Tell him exactly what you are. Y'all not feeling me. You know when you applying for a job or something like that, you want to just add a couple of more things that you know how to do. And you know you ain't certified to do none of this stuff. You know, I attended this workshop, attended this, actually did. You just downloaded it and saw that it was being offered. You didn't go. They sent you a flyer inviting you to come. So what is the setup? What is the and now within the Egyptian culture, kind of shepherds or herders, they were kind of low on the totem pole. You really didn't want to tell nobody. I keep sheep. I herd cattle. I mean, they was kind of like, really? But it was a setup. It was a setup for down the road, because when things start drying up, people were going to have to liquidate some of their assets in order to live. Not only was land coming, but cattle and herds was coming. And if you got somebody already in the pocket that know what to do with that when the surplus comes. So actually, Brother Joseph was setting up his brethren for increase, somebody else's increase. Now listen, I'm not trying to badmouth folk, and I'm not trying to create more injury and harm to people that may have lost some things. Okay? Y'all feel me, right? But understand the mind of God. Everything Israel was going to get in the promised land belonged to somebody else first. Y'all didn't hear me. They was going to move into a city that they didn't build. They was going to eat from some vineyards that they didn't plant. They were going to drink from some wells. So everything you got from somebody else. So don't be hating that God said, not only are you going to get it, but you're going to get it free at a discount. Okay? So the cattle are coming free because there's nobody in the land of Egypt more skilled than Israel to maintain all this multitude increase. That's a setup. So you call it prison and God said palace. Okay, didn't like that part. Man, I'm throwing out all kind of stuff and y'all just like, I don't know. I don't know about that. All right, look at verse 32. Just want to read it for you. So 31, Joseph said unto his father.
And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh and say unto him, my brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? That ye shall say, thy servant trade hath been about cattle from our youth, even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen.
That's right.
For every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
All right, so you hear the plot. Tell them you're shepherds. All we know is shepherding. All we've ever, from our father's father, that's all we know. Trust me, it's going to work for you. So they get up to Pharaoh. Now, come on, I know you want to say, can I tell him that I can cook a little bit? No, don't tell him what you are, because that's the plot. All right? So they get before Pharaoh, verse 3, and Pharaoh said unto his brethren,
what is your occupation?
And they said unto Pharaoh,
thy servants
are
shepherds.
Shepherds. Both we
and our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come. For thy servants have no pasture for thy flocks.
That's right.
For the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle.
Do you hear what Pharaoh said to them? I'm going to give you the best of the land. I'm going to give you the best of the land. And if there's anybody around you that's expert and skilled in this cattle business, hook them up. Make them rulers. How about that? So you're in famine, and you get to promote your brothers and sisters and put them in position. Is that doing anything for you? God said, you're going to be able to pay and employ all of your siblings. Why are you on lockdown? Crazy. God. All right. You ready? Okay. So now, verse 11.
And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families.
13. Now, wait a minute.
And there was no bread.
Wait a minute. In the land, But Joseph and his father and his brethren, they ate bread. But there was no other bread in the land. So everything around them was drying up except where you are. Y'all not listening to me. Everything else is coming to a halt. I mean, people are feeling the separation, the famine, the drought, things drying up. But you open up your cabinet, you got more stuff than a little bit. How can that be? Woo! Right? Listen, do you remember when the children of Israel were in the wilderness for 40 years? And the Lord said, your feet didn't swell, clothes didn't wax old. We serve that same God. You open up your cabinet, I thought I used all that. How did I get this other can of stuff back there? Where did that come from? Lord have mercy. I mean, you don't feed everybody in the house 2 or 3 times, and you still got leftovers. Good left. They didn't spoil. Y'all know? Anybody? I mean, why would God? Because God meant what he said. I'm going to put a difference between you and everybody else going through this thing. Don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in being irritated and frustrated. Because I'm showing you my hand. Okay, y'all didn't like that. Okay, so there was no land. There was no bread in the land, for the famine was sore, right? And people were beginning to faint. 14, and Joseph did what?
Gathered all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house.
Woo! Come on.
And when money failed in the land of Egypt, in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread. For why should we die in this present? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fails.
Listen, we got money, but our money ain't working for us. So look, we got to eat. Well, Joseph, what you got? We got some cattle. And the supervisors over the cattle was his brothers that were already in place to handle the y'all didn't hear me. It was getting so bad that their money, they couldn't buy what they needed to buy, so they had to barter. What did they have to barter? Their cattle. Hello? I like how God does business. All right, let's keep reading.
And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for their asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year.
Hold on. I got your cattle. Guess what I'm going to get next? Some property. Oh, I see some houses coming. Oh, I see some cribs coming. I see some retirement condos coming. I mean, not that you need it, but God said, I'm going to put it in the hands of somebody that knows how to use it, knows how to share it.
Jesus.
Tell your neighbor, I got some perks coming.
There's some perks coming.
All right, keep going.
We will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle, that is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes? But we have our land. Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. And give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph brought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh's, and for Egypt sold for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's.
Lord have mercy. Now Joseph is second next to Pharaoh. So all this income and economy and surplus is now coming into the hands of Joseph, and Joseph has enough wisdom to say, my family are the stewards and gatekeepers of all this increase. All right, so I'm sitting here and I'm going to say, I'm going to make a declaration over the house of Judah. I speak increase over everybody. Every gate, every portal, every door is about to receive supernatural provision and abundance. Why? Because we are strategically set in the earth realm as gatekeepers, and God said glory is going to flow through our gates. So what God is about to do in you and my life, people are going to look at it and say, nobody could have done that but God. Hallelujah. I just need a couple of witnesses saying, yeah, he did it just like that. All right, so watch this. Verse 27,
And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly.
Wait a minute. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein. They grew and multiplied exceedingly. This is one of those attitude places. There was a season in the ministry that we were doing a whole lot of traveling. And my attitude was then, I'm coming through here. Right? So, you go in these, nice, comfortable hotels, and they got these dressers and chesters where you pull them out, you inspect it to make sure it's clean, and you took your stuff out of the bag and put them in there. I didn't. I ain't staying up in here like that. My bag will stay packed because I'm on my way up out of here. Y'all not feeling me. Now, and it wasn't a cleanliness, sanitary issue for me. It was like, just as soon as the services get done, homeboy is up out of here. I'm going to be in my car so quick. Matter of fact, I started putting my bag back together long before the services was over, because I'm coming out. Y'all not, I'm trying to tell you something. See, there was an attitude in me saying, you just passing through. What was really happening is, I was not taking possessions therein. I wasn't laying hold. I was not seizing. I was not taking responsibility or ownership of anything that I was, as if that I had no part or no portion or no investment. I was not depositing anything. I'm just dropping it out. As if to say that my presence was just about delivering this word or handling this session, doing this conference, and out. There was nothing else redemptive about my going till God checked me. Now, do I still put my stuff in it? Probably not. Maybe a few things, dirty stuff. But it wasn't about what I was putting in the drawers. It was about what of my soul and my substance I was leaving in the land. You see the difference? So when the Israel had possessions therein, they began to understand that this is not a drive-through. That I need to put some roots down. Maybe I need to start my family. Maybe build the house, open up an account, do something to let people understand that I've got an inheritance in this place. Y'all not feeling it. So on one of those trips that I was taking to Tucson, I said, you know what? We probably need to get some legal things in position so that we can do business in the state of Arizona. So ICCM, the headquarters, the pillar over all of our covenant ministries, is licensed to operate in the state of Arizona because we was visiting that area so much, and we opened up a bank account so that we can transact business. Took possession therein. Right? In that same season, I had no idea that they were doing it. The leaders of the house got together and bought me a patch of territory in every state in the United States so that I could have possession. Are you feeling me? Why is that important? Because if you don't understand that this is just not God moving you from here to here, but God is asking you to deposit something of Him in that place while you're there, that may change somebody else's life. right? I don't really like people picking me up, driving me around. I want to get my own car so I can learn the city, so I can know how to maneuver and get around. Why? Because I have an investment in the land. Huh? Hello? Some places, I just make up my mind. If they give me a break, I'm going. I want to visit the mall. I want to see where people congregate. I want to feel the atmosphere. Yeah, you say, oh, don't you have enough to do today? No. No. I want to get out and mix. Okay, people, arbor bears, they say, you got some, when you, with some individuals, you don't dare go up and touch them, but I don't want to be like that. I want to be touchable. So I'm going to get out and mingle with the folk. What's your name? Where you live? What you do? Why you do it? Because I want to know them that labor among me. I want them to know me. I'm there to put something in the ground, not to just get an honorarium and leave. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So Israel had to understand, hey, I know you want to get out next week, but you better put some roots down. Right? People respect you differently when they find out you're a native. Here's my case. One of our members had died. This was years ago. Here you go. Black lives, all lives matter. I was out late at night going through Mackinac, going to sit with the family because somebody had just passed and crossed over. The local authority decided to pull me over. So I was a little different then in my conversation. Who are you? Well, they said, well, who are you? I said, I don't know you. Me talking to them. Well, I don't know you, but I've been here longer than you. I know all of you all. I don't know you. So where are you from? Yeah, it was a little different then, wasn't it? Well, at that point, I've been here maybe 20-something years. So you're concerned about what I'm doing, and you're the one new to the community. Y'all ain't feeling me. Well, the question was, what are you doing out this time of night? Well, what are you pulling me over for since I'm a resident? We got it worked out. But the conversation changed when they found out that I lived here. Isn't that amazing? Hello? What does that have to do with the conversation? Okay? We live here. God has given us the city. We're not strangers to the land. They're gonna have to accept the fact we're not going anywhere. Right? And I don't say that from a gender standpoint. I'm saying is there are things God wants us to be involved in because we're the gatekeepers of the community. That's what I'm saying. All right, y'all got quiet on that. Let me move. I know what that means. Okay, so look at these words. And they had possessions therein. You see that? They had possessions. They began to seize. They had possessions. They became settled. They became fastened. They became anchored. They accepted the fact that this was their inheritance. Changes how you operate. Okay? And it says, and then they grew, and then they multiplied exceedingly. Got me? So here's my question. And what's our time look? Oh, I got a few more minutes. I must have started early. Wow. So, how do I know if and when I have become one with the assignment? How do I know that I'm all right with where God has me? How do I know that I have really embraced or accepted, you know what? As much as I don't like this, I'm going to get on board. How do I know this? Y'all think that's a good question? Y'all already know the answer, right? This is how you know. When your mouth lines up with what you say is in your heart. Wasn't that easy? The Bible said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth is speaking. So if you're really lined up with it, then that's what's going to start coming out of your mouth. Versus the other stuff that tells us, you really ain't with this, are you? You're really not on board, are you? Because everything that comes out of your mouth is negative.
Yes. Come on, Bishop. Yes. Bishop.
Everything that comes out of your mouth is contrary to what God has said. So that's telling me that you don't treasure what he says, you treasure what you want to do. Okay, it got quiet in the room. Maybe we ought to bring this to a close, right? So that's Matthew 6:21. So where your treasure, there will your heart be also. Matthew 12:34. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So whatever you treasure, that's what's going to be in your heart. And whatever in your heart, that's what you're going to speak out of your mouth. So watch your conversation. Better not. Don't listen to yourself. Ask somebody else what you sound like. Here we go. All right, don't you think that'd be good? Hey, call somebody and say, hey, what do I sound like when I talk to you? You sound depressed. You sound upset. You sound irritable. You sound mad. You sound like you don't believe God. Now look, don't get offended, but use that as a thermometer. Say, you know what? I'm probably not as well as I think I am. That tells you you have not put down any possessions in the land. Right? Listen, this is not the area where you judge yourself, because your judgment is off. You cannot judge yourself in this arena, all right, because most of us are so familiar with ourselves, we can't smell nothing, don't think nothing wrong. All right, so you got to ask somebody, ask the person that's going to tell you the truth, all right, and unball your fingers when they're talking to you, okay? Right? I'm saying, you don't want nobody telling you the real truth. The real truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. You're like, what did you say? Right. Huh? Or ask some of your unseen people around you, said, have you noticed my attitude lately? And if they start talking, you know you're in trouble. Woo-wee. Okay. Are you with me? Yes. Now, this is how you know. This is how you discern. So that was the first question. That's the test. Here's another test. You ready? Mm-hmm. I am in Genesis chapter 49. And it's kind of 49:1 through the whole chapter. Yeah, it's really the whole chapter. Jacob is not hesitant to release a blessing upon his children in confinement. All right, yeah, y'all didn't hear that. Do I need to say it differently? Yes. They're in this confined place, there. And when you are there, but your mind is here, you ain't going to give all your best here. Right. That's good. They ain't going to wear me out, work me to death, kill me, because I got something beyond here. So you don't give your best, you don't give your all, and you certainly ain't going to give your best prophecy. Not over here. Right. Come on, Bishop. Y'all not feeling me yet. Yeah. Huh? But Jacob releases his best insight and prophetic word over all of his sons in the place of confinement. See, you have to stop operating as if God is not going to do it again and again and again. All right. Okay, let me preach your secret. I have, preacher, he wants my notepads. Y'all know that, right? My wife says, I'm the one married to you. So I get to look at them first. I know how that's going to go. See, I've already seen that in the spirit. All right. So here's the deal. There are times that I'm doodling, that I'm writing, okay? And I get a feeling sometimes, that's something, And you can get caught up in that something to say, I'm going to hold on to that something. I ain't going to teach that to the co-ed congregation sitting up in here looking at me through their mask. And I don't even know if they pay attention to all this stuff that I've been praying and singing about, trying to get, and they sitting there like, oh no, I'm going to save my best for later. Now y'all feel me? And the Lord said, and who do you think gave you that word? And all of a sudden, the word I gave you is of your private interpretation. As if to say, there's not plenty more that I can give you. And you don't know who might need that word right now. And you're too busy concerned about whether or not they're receiving what you say. You hear the difference? So it's like Jacob saying, you know what? This may be the opportunity. And why should I hold back on this prophetic word, this insight from my boys, when I don't know when the day is going to be, but because God has revealed it, maybe he's asked me right now to share it. So I need to release this word and trust God to do the rest. Now that may not be you. Said, oh no, you ever, let me get a little closer. You ever bought some stuff and say, I'm going to put this up in the closet and it will just hang there and I will admire the glory of it. Huh? And just when everybody done wore all their stuff, I'm going to pop this out and they're going to say, oh, did you? No, I didn't just get this. I had this. You don't know how long I've had. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Did that kind of catch you? As if you're never going to catch nothing on sale that's going to be bomb and fly and sharp. Now, I understand seasonal stuff. See, one of the perks of going to Tucson is that they have what we're wearing now on the clearance rack. Ridiculous. Buy another bag, put it in there, bring it home, right? Hang it up in the closet. And just as your territory is expanding and increasing, you might go back and find something you could slide in and grease on, whatever it takes. Huh? But that mentality of holding on to something because you don't think God can replenish it is the attitude that God is addressing. So Jacob is not afraid to release his best when you've put down roots in the place. Huh? The season that I worked for that banking institution, they would always say, we know it's just a matter of time that you're going to be out of here and you're going to pastor the church full time. I said, yes, I will. But while I'm here, I'm going to give my best. I'm going to do what you've asked me to do because my performance was a reflection of my relationship with God, not what they were asking me to do. See, it's you got to adjust your mentality. Give them your best because your best is a reflection of your God. Woo! Hallelujah. Boy, I like that. Woo! All right. Okay. Now listen. You may know somebody that got a weekend pass to go out and do some stuff. Right? Y'all know what I mean by weekend pass? For that weekend, or they give you a little furlough, right? I was a part of, in that institution, I was part of what they call their conversion team, right? So we would go, sometimes we'd have to spend 2 weeks or so in the community, but the weekend was off. So the weekend you had to pass. So Monday through Friday, you had to act business. Friday night to Monday morning, yeah. You got me? So there's a certain mentality that comes with a weekend pass, like, I don't know if I'm going to go back Monday morning. y'all done feeling me. I don't know if I want to go back to this. Shoot, this is good, kind of like some of us feeling. I don't know if I'm ever going to step up in there again. COVID. Right? Jacob dies. They have to leave Goshen for the funeral. Bye, y'all. I ain't going back. You know what the temptation is? When you out, to not to have to go back? Y'all ain't feeling me yet. You out, legally out. You got to pass. Why go back? I did that a couple of times, trying to get away from y'all. I did. I'm out. And they gave me some incentives that went along with my weekend pass. Don't give me incentives. Don't tell me we're going to pay more and you're going to do less. Don't tell me stuff like that. Don't tell me you just go walk up on it. You didn't give it to me while I was here, but you're going to give it to me now? Ooh, yes, I'm out. Had not the Lord said, if you do this, I ain't doing this, but if you do this, you will not see the faithfulness of what I said to you I would do. You go if you want to. I thought about it. I went, oh, God just spoke to me. I'm so sorry. No, let me think about this. Let me weigh this in the scale. Let me really think. Came back. It wasn't easy. It got worse. But that's part of the assignment down in the land there. Okay, y'all didn't like that either. Okay, let me move on. All right, so they go, they go to bury the daddy, right? So maybe some of us need some incentive to come back. They left the children, they left the little ones, and they left the herd back in Goshen. So maybe God said, I'm not going to let you detach yourself totally. I'm going to leave something over here to make sure that these things pull on your heart, just in case you think you want to get out. How many have ever stayed in the seat and left Judah? Come on, y'all need to tell the truth. Stayed in the chair, but I'm out. I am so far out. I'm gone. Still here, but I'm gone. Johnny, I done. Some of those seasons, I don't know what kept me here. Huh? Somewhere in that season where, and God just say, oh, you got a little tune? Stay there. You won't need me before I call upon you. Stay there. Yeah. Go ahead. You ever been there? That's honest. Anybody just say, kind of like that Jeremiah thing. I ain't gonna trust me. I will never say nothing. Say nothing never about the word of the Lord again. You will never hear his name come out of my mouth. I give you 3 days. You can replace life with everything else but the real thing. You could check. Well, see, because you got to fill that hole with something. So you do your movies, do whatever you do, whatever your vices are, do that for a little while. And after a while, all that dries up. Jesus. I said, I knew he was going to call my name. Okay. So they left some things behind. That was the surety that they were going to make the trek back. You with me? All right, now I'm moving on to Genesis. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm in chapter 50 now. All right, so father dies. Of course, the brothers, this is all in Goshen. So this is the hard one. I'm going to stop here because this one's going to be painful. You only like me because Daddy's still alive. Just as soon as Daddy dies, I'm going to see if you really forgave me for what I did to you. Which tells me that all the time that you should have been putting your roots down, you was living in fear because you didn't think Joseph had really cleaned the slate concerning you. All right. So here we are in Goshen. God's got to say, have you really come clean with some stuff? Have you really kind of looked at some things that's been bothering you? I've had more conversations with my siblings, you know, the ones that the cheese and cracker never got together, that group. Y'all know what I said, right? Yes. Okay. Them. Yeah. And it's been an interesting conversation because, you know, a lot has happened in this period, not just COVID, but made them think, made us consider. Heart-to-heart conversations with my sons, both of them, one you've probably never seen. But I find myself in these really tight, uncomfortable places, having conversations about stuff that maybe I thought was just out there or maybe resolved, only to find out that it's not. So this pandemic has put another level of magnifying awareness on stuff that's still lingering. What's still lingering in Joseph's brothers is the betrayal. And the only thing, the Band-Aid that's holding this betrayal together is the daddy. So soon as the daddy is out of scene, it's right. Y'all think I'm making this up? It's right here in the scriptures. They're nervous about what Joseph is going to do with them, right?
And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil we did unto him. And they sent him a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now.
Y'all need to hear this. Mama said, this is what you ought to Before Daddy left, Daddy said that you should treat us right. Daddy ain't been in that conversation. You know we know how to work this thing. So they're trying to work Joseph, saying, Daddy said, this is what you ought to do. Out of the love and respect for your daddy, please forgive us. Right?
Yes.
All right, keep reading that.
And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And he said, Brethren, also went and fell, and his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we are thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not. For I am in the place of God.
For am I in the place of God?
For am I in the place of God?
But look who's crying. Isn't it amazing? This is when you know that you have passed over. You more tore up about it than they are. Huh? This is how you know when you really pass from death to life. This is how you know if God's really done a work in you. You're listening to them, trying to maneuver, trying to jockey, and you are busted and toe up. Yeah. Because they really didn't trust what your intent was toward them. Hallelujah. Woo, we're going to stop right there. I can't take it. Woo! This would have never played out had they not been in Goshen. There are things that God is trying to put his hand on in you and I that could not have taken place had you not been in this situation right now. So God, we are thrilled to be there. We're just waiting for our heart to catch up with that confession. Okay? But we are glad you left us. We are glad that you did not remove your hand from us. We're glad that you did not make it easy on us. But you kept walking. Thank you for the things that are coming to the forefront now, things that we moved to the back, things we thought were done, things that we thought were resolved, that we might be a faithful priest officiating over your affairs in the land. So God, for these that are in the room, those that are hearing and walking this journey with us, thank you for Goshen. Thank you for strengthening who we are in you in the place called there. We honor you and we bless you. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you, saints of God.